video, I want to talk about the priesthood as an enlightenment. There's an article written by Father Tom Doyle called The Enlightenment of Catholicism. And in it he speaks about how if someone is abused like a child is abused, it's further problematic because to that abuser, because the priest is considered to be highly elevated as a Christ-like figure. And they teach that basically the priest is enlightened above the layperson. He quotes John Paul II. John Paul II says at the moment of ordination for a priest, they become Christ-like, and therefore ontologically they're different than a man or woman who is in the laity, layperson in the church. Paul in Galatians 3, chapter 28 says, "There's neither Jew nor Gentile, slave nor free, male nor female, for all are one in Christ Jesus." Then he speaks about in Corinthians how one member is not any more important than another. What can the foot do without the hand, etc., etc., right? What can the hand do without the eyes? All these different types of things. And he was trying to say that, the whole context was people were saying that I'm of Paul, I'm of Apollos, I'm of whatever, and they wanted to elevate themselves to higher status, etc., etc. And he was saying, no, this isn't the way it is as a Christian. We're all equally one under the body. Christ is the head of the body, nobody else. So I want to say that this is right out of the script of Gnosticism. Gnosticism teaches that one who is enlightened is closer to God than a regular Christian. A regular Christian cannot perceive things such as one who is enlightened. And so, therefore, and it brings all sorts of different teachings along with that. But basically it's saying that, when you're enlightened as a Gnostic, you have special power, special knowledge that no one as a regular Christian would have. And of course, this is what he's saying in his article. They have special powers. They're basically Christ-like in all their ways. And this is such a fallacy because, like I read in Galatians 3 and Colossians, Paul has a totally different view of Christianity. Not only Paul, but John, Peter, they all include themselves with the us and the we when it comes to Christianity. It's never I do this, and you do this. No. It's a we thing. We're a part of a family, we're a part of a connection, a body in Christ. So this notion that a Catholic priest or a bishop for that matter, or the Pope is more enlightened and therefore has special powers over other Christians is, like I said, right out of the book of Gnosticism. Gnosticism was prevalent in the 1st, 2nd century and the 3rd century, and guess when Catholicism really bloomed was at Constantinople. Gnosticism, of course, was condemned by the early church. It was condemned by all the apostles. They mentioned the teachings of Gnosticism where Jesus was just a spiritual being of divinity. He was not physical, denying the physical resurrection of Christ, because their idea of Enlightenment was a spiritual thing. The flesh was nothing to them. The flesh was just corruption, and therefore we're going to do away with that in heaven. There's no going to be no bodily resurrection. So of course Paul and John especially spoke out against those things. John spoke in detail about that in 1 John, 2 John, 1 John and 2 John as well. So if anyone is speaking to Catholics here, if you're caught up in this system of Catholicism, you really need to have another look at what's going on.